live. Hola, mi gente. Joe Barreto live from the Credit Card Connection Studios in kind of hazy Hackensack, New Jersey. How you doing, mi gente? If it's Tuesday, it's Hola, mi gente. Tuesday, it's WEPAS Tuesday. And today is, oh my God, I'm so nervous Tuesday. And I'm so psyched because we're going to have an amazing show for you tonight. So as always, I'm going to jump into the chat, say hello to mi gente. We're going to jump over to my very special guest, and you guys are going to learn a lot. So get ready, guys, because it's coming. Right off the box, what's going on, Gunnar? How you doing? What's up? What's up? Rodney, 23, the one for you to see. How you doing, papi? Wepa. Gunnar says, just did my Amex upgrade a platinum offer. I just did too. And I'll downgrade in October, then do the same with my other green for another 50 KMR. Wepa, Gunnar. The upgrade, downgrade. That's how you do it, papi. Check, Mike, check. Texas dog in the house. How you doing, Texas? Jesse, YouTube experiment. Wepa, papi. Garrett, thank you so much. Aloha, Danica. Garrett, thank you for being here. Gunnar, Wepa. Jordan, rules for credit. Wepa, I will see you Thursday here in the sack. Jordan, thank you so much for being here. Vincent Pasquale, thank you, papi. Welcome, Scott. Juan Meow Mix. Meowdy, everyone. How you doing, Juan Meow Mix? My YouTube son, John, how you doing? Let's do this. Let's do this. Thank you for being here, papi. Good evening, everyone. CJ Bautista, Wepa, tuned in as soon as I hopped in my car. That's how I like it, CJ. Thank you so much, papi. Well, we already got questions. Best travel redemption, and is there any travel destination on the bucket list? Oh, my God. We're going to get to that one. Latrice, thank you for being here. Hello, Latrice. Cesar Joel from Puerto Rico. Wepa, papi, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Ralph, how you doing? Hola, papa. Thank you so much for being here. John, thank you for the gifted memberships. I appreciate you. Boxer, how you doing? Listening while running across Iowa. I love you, Boxer. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. John R., been a member for 16 months. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Rex, for the 5 memberships. I appreciate you so much. Juan, thank you for the memberships. I appreciate it. Kevin Hawthorne, how you doing from Lakeland, Florida? Wepa, Kevin, how you doing? Vincent Pascual, gracias, papi. Wepa, so thank you so much. John, what's going on? And Juan Garcia killing it with the memberships. That's right. And I got Fernando Ramos. Wepa, Joe, good to see you, papi. So, mi gente, without further ado, I want to introduce to you a man that you all know. You read the bio in the description. I talked about him this weekend. I want to thank him for giving me of his time, which is super valuable and hard to pin him down. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to the stage my friend, Scott Mayerowitz. Scott, welcome.
Thank you, Joel. Hola, mi gente.
Did I
do that right? I'm sorry.
That was good.
Welcome. Well, thanks for having me. That is an awesome intro, and thank you for the time and the tips and just reading all the questions that are coming in already. I am so excited for this, but most importantly, I'm excited to learn from you and your audience. And before we get into it, like we were just chatting about this before we got started. This is a community. And yeah, there are tons of people who make some money off of this, but it's people who have fun. It's the hobby. We like to figure out the best ways to travel either free, travel in style, do what you want. And I just love talking to people and learning their tips and their secrets. Sure, I've got a few up my sleeve that I'm always happy to share, but I want to learn from your audience.
Damn. Okay. Hey, guys. He's thrown down the gauntlet. We're going to do this. Scott, do you mind telling the audience about what you've done, what's what you're doing now, what's coming up, things of that nature, and then we'll go into the questions.
Sure. I am a travel junkie, a points and miles addict, but that's just in my spare time. Next, I'm a dad, a good husband, or at least I hope I'm a good husband. I'm sure my wife will watch this and critique my appearance tonight. But professionally, I started out as a journalist. I graduated from Wesleyan University with a degree in political science, of all things, and became a reporter in Rhode Island, where I spent 7+ years covering local and state politics. But I always had the travel bug, and we could talk a little bit later about those formative years and some of my credit card maximization. But I eventually moved to ABC News, where I was covering Wall Street during the Great Recession of 2008. And I walked out of that experience, honestly, a little depressed. You'd be calling up people and being like, hey, you lost your job. You lost your house. Your wife left you. Would you like to come on national TV tomorrow and share your story with America? Wasn't quite that bad, but there were moments where it felt like that. An opportunity came up at ABC to head up the travel coverage there. Really like build a website, get people engaged. And I jumped at it, loved it, fell in love with it. Then I spent about 7 years at the Associated Press covering airlines, hotels, cruises. I kept trying to work the credit card industry in because I just love it so much in the frequent flyer game. But I got like a real good education about how things work in each of those travel industries. And I was seeing how much more dependent all those industries came to be on loyalty programs. And time was kind of right. I was looking for a change, and I met up with Brian Kelly, the points guy who founded that site, I don't know, 15 years ago now, maybe 12, 15 years, something like that. We were chatting, and he was talking about how they were going to be changing some things, and brought me in to grow the team sort of outside of just points and miles, but about hotels, talking about airlines and the business, because it all fits together. So I did that for 5 years. It was fantastic. I learned so much from my team there, and we had a lot of fun. One of the first things I did was a race from New York to Washington, D.C. What's fastest? The Acela, flying on the shuttle, taking a bus, those sort of things. And then to wrap it all up, because I could talk for hours about all this, about 2+ years ago, I decided it was time for me to do something different. I wanted to actually make a difference in the travel industry by getting my hands dirty. So I started my own consulting business. And I now work with a lot of travel brands, a few credit card companies, a few startups, trying to figure out, how do you make loyalty programs better? How do you make travel experience better? You know, I give the example that airlines often think about a trip from curb to curb. You know, you drop your bags off, you start your journey, and then you get in a taxi or an Uber on the other airport. I don't think about it. I actually think about the travel experience from pillow to pillow. And not enough people, I think about that. But what time are you getting up? Are you nervous before your flight? How do you get to the airport? What's your hotel like? What's the whole trip like? So I work with a lot of travel brands now in kind of, obviously they're looking to be profitable. They want to make money. You can't give away 1 million miles on a promo. But how do you engage audiences? How do you do things that don't necessarily break the bank, but make things more humane in travel? So that's where I am these days.
All right. Well, thank you, Scott. And I have, as you know, because we went over them a little bit before we come on, but my man, Juan Garcia, Mr. MIA from Miami, best travel redemption. And is there any travel destination on your bucket list?
Well, Miami, of course. Well, thanks for the question. So, best travel redemption. I want to just put this out there right now. There is not necessarily a best redemption out there. Sure, you can go and say, I got 7 cents per point for this flight, or, oh my gosh, I got 12 cents per point on this one, and you only got 3 cents per point. Look, if it's a trip you want to go to, life is precious. time is short. If points and miles are able to enable you to go on a trip, there's no bad redemption. So I want to put that out there because I think there's a little bit of like misconception in the industry of like, oh my, I must get the best redemption. Now, I definitely look at all my trips and say, should I use cash? Should I use points? But that's because I'm able to travel and I do have the cash to go and do a lot of these trips. But I want to just be very clear, like sometimes the redemption that gets you to a place that you wouldn't have gone otherwise is a great redemption. For me, I think one of my best redemptions was Cathay Pacific business class. 777 from JFK to Hong Kong, and then the upper deck on the 747 to Bangkok. There's just something, for those of you who've flown it, there's something special about the upper deck of the 747. And when they stop flying, I think we're all going to be very sad. There are very few of them left out there. It was a great redemption. I did it on American Airlines miles, and I did it two ways. First, a lot of signups. This was probably, I earned the points 2001, 2002 or so, but there were crazy bonuses. And particularly after 9/11, there were a lot of like earn 4,000 bonus points for each segment you fly. You really could get a lot of points during those days. But additionally, the dining program used to be so lucrative. And I love telling the story that when I was a young reporter out of college, there were about 15, 20 other young reporters with me at the newspaper at the time. And we'd all have like town council meetings to cover, things at night. But usually by 9 or 10 o'clock, we were all free. And the bars closed at like 1-ish back then. And we would all finish our meetings and meet at a local bar or two. And there were 4 or 5 of these bars in Providence that were part of the American Airlines dining program. And nobody was paying with credit cards back then. Nobody was. So we'd run up a $200-$300 bar tab in a night. I mean, we were drinking like $2-3 Pabst Blue Ribbons, or Narragansetts as we call them. Like there were some real cheap specials. End of the night, I'd just take the $300, put it on my card, and you'd be earning 10 or 20 points per dollar on the dining program, plus the 1X for just having a City Advantage card back then. And then there were other promos like dine out 5 times in a month, get an extra 10,000 points. Please don't hold me to the exact numbers. I don't know what they were, but they were pretty darn lucrative. So I earned easily enough points for that business class ticket, and it was a good redemption back then. It was a Saver Award back when they did those things for partners, but it was more the story of how I won it, or earned it through other people's drinks. That got me there pretty quickly.
No, and that just shows everyone out there, pay the next bill for your friends. Just make sure they Zelle you or Venmo you, right?
Well, now I go out to dinner with my friends and everyone puts down the same credit card or two. It's not as much fun. Juan, I didn't answer bucket list for you. I think for me right now, I have a 10-year-old daughter, so like escaping for a really long time is difficult, but I really want to go somewhere just quiet and isolated. So not so much like I need a 19-hour flight to get somewhere. It's more of when I get to that last big airport, figuring out the 5-hour train ride or whatever it is to get somewhere isolated. My wife and I just got back last month from 10 nights in Scandinavia. and it was sort of a quick city hop trip, but it was fantastic. Got a taste for the countries. Fell in love with Norway, Denmark, Sweden. That was great. Switzerland is not cheap. It's not points friendly, but I really love it there and want to go back. I actually want to ski in France this winter. That would be amazing. Or go to Patagonia. I've been in northern Patagonia in summer, but I really want to go down to the tip of South America. And then I really want to spend more time in Asia, and kind of all over Asia. There's not one specific place that I'm like, I must go. I just want to spend time really getting to see several cultures there.
I was telling everyone, thank you for that. Is it that you've done 65 flights already?
I think so. I think since we spoke, I took 2 more. So,
Jesus Christ, I was like, okay. Well,
I'm not flying again till Thursday.
So you're gonna take tomorrow off?
Yeah, if you're in Newark Airport Thursday morning, really early, flying United, reach out to me on Twitter, Instagram. I think I've got a 7:30 or 8 a.m. flight. Probably have Terminal C.
I love it. I have Vincent here. What is your greatest pet peeve in the credit card points and miles game?
Vincent, great question. And hi, Mike from the Waldorf, formerly known as the Mandarin Oriental, Las Vegas.
Look at that. They're all over the place.
They are. Pet peeves. I mean, if I said coupon booking, that's a little too easy. I hope everyone pays their bills in full on time, because I do not like the interest rates that these cards charge. It's not so much the coupon booking, but the PhD that you need now to understand some of the benefits. I've got a few other cards recently, and just reading through the terms and conditions to really understand, okay, how does the edit by Chase work? How does the what's the United program? Renowned hotels and resorts. What's the difference between the renowned hotels and resorts and the edit by Chase? Oh, wait, it's the same with a different name, but different credits. So that annoys me. The other thing is availability and the changing dynamic pricing of everything. And I'm actually sympathetic to dynamic pricing. I know we all hate it. We'd love just a great reward chart with sweet spots to take advantage of. But I get it. An airline needs to sell tickets when prices are higher. Yeah, points have a currency value to them. What I don't like is just how wide it can swing, particularly with hotels. It's just so hard to keep track. And, for anyone who's got one of those IHG or Marriott cards that you can top off with extra points, and you're just 1,000 points short still because it's a 51,000 point stay instead of 50. That's just like, they're businesses, they need to make money, but that's just so frustrating, and you feel defeated because you've played by the rules, and here there's nothing you can do about it.
Thank you. It's funny because I just got that IHG card, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I got it for the 60,000 points per certificate, which I thought was a good, amount per certificate, but the spend wasn't difficult.
It's great unless you are trying to stay at, the top hotels.
Yeah, 100%. No, you're right. I got Memphis Mike, as you saw, from Las Vegas. He's live. Points with Philip says, what's up? Vegas Hawk, I need to get an alarm wake up if I call. I do. I have Sylvia in the house. Sylvia, thank you for being here. Luis, hola, mi gente. Sylvia sees your model airplanes. I love it. I love it. My guy Sledge Inc. Team Sledge is one of the creators here. He's amazing. Sledge, what's up, puppy? Frugal Dad Finance. He's from Jersey as well, from Dirty Jers. Peter, how's it going? Juan Garcia says, and this is funny because I know what Juan likes. What loyalty program do you value for your personal travel?
Oh, Juan, that's a loaded question. Okay, so I personally like having currency all over the place or the ability to transfer to various programs. What does that mean? So for airlines, I've got my Chase currency, I've got my Amex, I've got my Capital One, although not as much compared to those other two, just so I can transfer them into whatever program I need for flights. Because one year I might be going to Asia and JAL has flights one way and ANA has flights the other way. So I need two different currencies to get the One World and the Star Alliance seats that I'm looking for. Or I want the ability to transfer to Aeroplan or to Flying Blue or to, I don't really use Avios as much just because of the taxes, unless I can finagle a good flight through Iberia or something like that. I love Hyatt. I mean, who doesn't? The program offers the best return when transferring points into it. They also reward the top tier at the near the top. But boy, it's going to be controversial. I'm starting to really like Hyatt's partnership with small luxury hotels.
Okay.
I know Hyatt used to have it. Hilton now has that partnership. We just stayed in Copenhagen inside Tivoli Gardens. I got a good rate, relatively good. I used a free night certificate from the credit card, and I think it was 85 or 90,000 points, which I know sounds like a lot, but the rooms were going for over $2,000 a night. I mean, really luxury hotel. It was phenomenal. I highly recommend it. I would never spend $2,000. Let me rephrase. I would never spend $1,000 a night on a hotel. So it was a good redemption for me, even if you value those at about half a cent. I used $400 or $500 worth of points to still get a $2,000 a night room. I'm okay spending that for a really special kid-free vacation with my wife. I've given up completely on car rental programs. I now credit all my car rentals to an airline or hotel. I've hit lifetime status, lifetime platinum with Marriott. And I did the year that they took the Bonvoy Brilliant card and gave that as a benefit to everyone. So I was like finally across the finish line, and everyone else suddenly now is a platinum member with me. I'm lifetime platinum, but I haven't been putting in as many nights there as I used to. And honestly, and I know I'm not normal, well, maybe normal for this crowd, but I have so many credit card credits now. Delta stays with the Reserve card, the edit from Chase with the Reserve, the Amex Fine Hotels / the hotel collection from my Platinum card. My United Club card comes with a Renowned Hotels collection credit. My United Quest card comes with a credit at hotels. My United Small Business, yes, I have 3 United cards. My United Small Business card, I think, comes with a $50 credit that I haven't even paid attention to. I get my $300 travel credit from my Capital One venture, which I tend to use for airfare, but I have used for hotels in the past. Which is a very long way of saying that I'm not always using loyalty programs these days as much as I used to for my hotels.
Thank you. Okay. No, I appreciate that. Well, Corey says, Hola, my girl, my Dominican queen, Veronica Myers says, pillow to pillow. I'm
I
going to use
I
that the next
hope
time I see her.
that's going to become the new trend. I'm
Pillow
telling you.
to pillow. Look at this.
We're going to
Pillow to
talk about
pillow. I love it. I love it. Oh my
it.
God. Okay,
Can
I
I
have
jump in?
here.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Sylvia, I was just thinking of you with model planes.
Go ahead.
Like I actually wrote a story about a decade ago at the Associated Press about model planes. And if you go to any airline's headquarters, you will see rows of them over people's cubicles. And it is like the business card of aviation. If you are meeting someone important at another airline, at a city, whatever it is, you actually give them as a gift a model plane. So these are just some of my model planes that I've acquired over the years, all through business. And maybe if we stick around a little later, I can show off my favorite one.
That works. Oh my God. Well, Sylvia says now, do you think the main motivation behind points and miles purely monetary for the banks and hotels, or is there a larger overall strategy to play with these entities?
Well, I mean, it's always been monetary. I'm just going to start with that. The monetary side of it is keeping you a loyal customer. I think the programs themselves, the points and mile side, almost 90% monetary. I think status is where people start to really make irrational choices. And yeah, just to dive into this, the point of a loyalty program, oh boy, I didn't even mean that pun, but the point of a loyalty program is to make you do irrational things. You know, if you think about it, why are you going to stay at a Fairfield Inn by Marriott compared to a Holiday Inn Express from IHG? Is the breakfast at Fairfield Inn that much better than that at IHG? I don't know. It depends who you are. Some people might like the pancake machine or the cinnamon buns at a Holiday Inn Express, and others like the sausage, egg, and biscuit sandwiches at a Fairfield Inn. And a lot of people would say both breakfast are free, but they're not really that good. I stick to the yogurt and the cereal. What makes that difference? Well, which chain do you want to earn points for your next stay or 10 stays from now? Or do you have a credit card with one of them? Are you already earning points? Or you have one free night, but you need 3 nights, so you use your free night and pay for the other 2. Loyalty schemes, I'm going to use the word schemes, but I'm putting it in a neutral term. Loyalty schemes are really meant to get you involved with that chain. But they've become big money makers for everyone, particularly as you sell the points to the credit card companies, to partners. Everyone's partnered with a car rental company, but really the car rental company is buying the hotel points and then giving them to you as an incentive to rent with them or whatever it is. Same with the dining programs, the shopping portals, you name it. Where I think that irrationality starts to really move forward is when you get into elite status. So do you put spend on a co-brand credit card to get closer to status, even though you know you're not earning the best multiplier or return on your dollar? Plenty of people will do that. Do you sign up for a new credit card just because they're offering 3,000 points towards status? I'm holding this up because I just did it. It was not a rational decision, and I know that. Do you choose one airline over another because of the loyalty program or what you can redeem? Or are you making your decisions based on schedule and comfort? do you really think as a lowly silver member, you're going to get an upgrade on a flight? Well, maybe in the middle of the week on a flight that no one's taking. But yeah, I think they've always been money makers. I think the currency has become much more of a currency, and the bean counters are looking for the best return on that currency. I think it gets very interesting when you start getting into what are the perks of a program, whether it's a free breakfast at a hotel, upgrade or extra leg room, or free checked bags. I just want to, come back, talk about free checked bags for a second. Like, I'm old enough to remember when everyone had free bags on flights, and suddenly it became a money-making enterprise for the airlines. And then they're like, oh, wait a second, this could now be a perk too for our best flyers. So it was sort of like one side we're charging for something, but on the other, hey, guess what? Here you go. Here, thank you for your loyalty. Your bag can be checked for free.
No, and I'm glad you put that out there, because I know a lot of us that go sub hunting, right? You'll use the card, even though it's a trash, use of the points or whatever. If you're going out dining, you're going to get a better multiplier with an American Express Gold than you are with a co-branded card, but you're going to meet the spend. You have to do what you got to do to get there, right? So I want to introduce you first to Kevin. He's 18 years old, or 19 now, and he lives in California. He's always here. He always talks about the cards him and his mom get all the time. I have my man, Anthony Fears, who I'm going to see tomorrow, actually, here in Jersey. Are we in a buyer's market for award travel in 2025? More award seats available, better transfer or redemption opportunities?
Okay. Let's jump in with Anthony's question right there. I know I skipped over one, but that's top of mind. I don't know that we're in a buyer's market yet, but I think we're going to be in one, particularly close in award travels. Leisure and premium leisure has really driven the market in the last few years, and demand, summer demand for airlines was really good, particularly the quote unquote premium airlines. Business travel is pretty strong in certain places, but hasn't fully recovered from the pandemic, probably won't. Everyone is worried about the economy, but not quite sure what to think. So what you're going to see is definitely like Tuesday fall tickets to Europe, where you can get a great redemption. So Anthony, like if you're looking to go to Paris on a Tuesday night, I think you'll be really
in the fall.
In the fall.
Okay.
Sundays and Monday nights to Europe, you're gonna have a lot of business travelers, and then return flights Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will probably be a mix of leisure and business. But I'm just throwing out Tuesdays and Wednesdays, both directions. I think those are some soft spots for travel, and you'll definitely be able to find stuff if you're into more creative routings or really flexible or looking for that last minute Lufthansa first class space. You should be good. As for transfer opportunities, that gets interesting. And the way it often works is that the airlines will offer that bonus. And they will do it because, remember, every time that you transfer miles from Capital One, Citi, Chase, or American Express, not every time, but just about every time, the bank is actually paying the airline at that point for the miles. So what ends up happening is end of the quarter, end of the year, someone makes a decision, we could use a little bit more revenue coming in. Let's offer a bonus transfer on it. So that happens, and suddenly, 40, 50 million points get transferred in to Avios, and American Express pays, 1.5 cents per point or something like that, whatever it is. And boom, there's some extra money to close out the quarter for British Airways and its parent company.
I love how you broke it down, because I think of it. Let me not speak for everybody, but I think of it always differently. I can rack up points, Scott. I suck at redemptions. I suck at them, and people laugh and blah blah. And I get it. I admit my weakness with this one, but I want to give a shout out to my man. He's in California right now, Chase Yokoyama. He is my Hawaiian papi. I love you, Chase. Thank you for being here. Dennis says you can rack up rewards and dining programs with bonus offers. Background Balloon, what's up? Hola, mi gente. How you doing? Johnny Jimenez, thank you for being a channel member. As always, thank you to everyone being here. I have here Gunna saying it's the city dining offers. Nice City continues to have lucrative offers on discontinued cards. Anthony also asks, you've described yourself as a points and miles addict. Have you personally shifted to more simplified strategies, such as using cashback cards for domestic or shorter travel? That's a great question.
Yep. Anthony, let me hold that point for just 1 second, because someone just mentioned all the dining and rewards programs.
Right. That's here.
And, you can really have some nice offers out there. JetBlue right now, in full disclosure, I do some consulting for JetBlue, but they've got this passport challenge with their partners. Dunkin' Donuts, Avis, dining, shopping, and the airport's reward program. And you get 500 bonus points for each one that you check off your list, and then 7,500 points if you do all of them. And for those old timers out here, it's going to look a little like the US Airways. Remember those guys? Their Grand Slam promo. But that sort of thing is a lot of fun. I mean, it brings back why we're in the hobby of it. Like, can you actually pull out your spreadsheet and be like, what's the least amount of money I can spend or best value out of it? And I will confess, I bought a pizza today at a restaurant that was on the True Blue dining program to check that off my box. I had to spend $25. I actually had to tip a little bit extra just to get over the $25 threshold, and I'm happy to do it for the points. And this weekend I have a car rental that will get me my 5th check on that passport.
Jesus Christ. You're a God bless you.
Yeah, City's got some nice ones. Capital One Shopping. There are a lot of fun promos out there, and I say fun because, like, part of it is like, can you do the math to make this work? Some of them are really lucrative, and some of them you're sitting there and you're like, really? That's all you're giving me? 1,000 points for going through 7 different hoops. All right, there was another question up there. There we go, from Anthony. Yeah, I'm addicted. It's
and there's no medication, right?
There really is no medication. So do I use points in miles or cash back? Sometimes I get credits. Honestly, I use Delta Sky Miles like cash.
Sky Pesos? Sky Pesos.
I didn't say that. You said that.
I said that. I've never flown Delta. I've never flown Delta. I'm just saying.
I'm a million miler with Delta.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm a Diamond member, a million miler with them. What can I say about the redemptions on Delta? You know what I can say about them? They have great domestic coach redemptions. You get a very steady 1.2, 1.3 cents on them. That's including the 15 15% rebate for having one of those, Delta credit cards, one of the premium
That's
ones.
a nice card.
This one's made from a 747.
I like that one. That's pretty.
Yeah, I'm just keeping that no matter what. But for a domestic flight, great. As long as I'm not buying basic economy, I'm still eligible for an upgrade. It still actually counts towards my MQDs to get status the next year. And I am willing to take a little bit extra haircut on the points for the flexibility of a mileage ticket. And I cannot stress this enough. I mean, first of all, having elite status, it's great. I can just cancel whenever. But most people on most airlines can cancel whenever anyway, because they've gotten rid of all the change fees and the redeposit fees. When I fly in the summer, there are cancellations and delays, and I tend to have a second ticket booked 2 to 3 hours later on a different airline with miles so that I can get where I want to go.
Damn.
And as long as I'm able to cancel it before that flight goes, no harm. Now, people yell at me for holding up seats, but you know what? The airlines oversell anyway. So that's the closest I think I've come to using them as cash back. The other way I look at redemptions in a cash back mindset is I have the American Express Platinum Small Business Card, which gives you the 35% rebate on points. It used to be any first business class ticket and your anything on your preferred airline. It's switching in a month and a half to just your preferred airline. But I will use that in some cases to just book a ticket because it makes sense.
Thank you, Scott. Gabriel Miranda from Ponce, Puerto Rico. Gabriel, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Nemo LA, great guest. I love it. Thank you, Nemo, for that. DJ Bruce Wayne, live from Brooklyn. Que pasa, familia? What's up, Scott? It's an honor. Another fan here of your work. Wepa Joe, thank you so much for that. LG, I love you, LG. What's up, guys? What card should I pair with the Sapphire Preferred? We'll get to that in a second. I want to ask you that. I love the Waldorf in Bangkok. Luxury cards are basura. As a recent PhD grad, there's not much difference between my science work and planning your trips. Calder, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Question, sorry I missed his name. That's Scott. Does he think the premium cards are going away of the way of the dodo for the average person? And then the last, before we answer that, Sledge is hilarious. This is the most Joe has ever let his guest talk ever. Sledge, I love you, Sledge. Go ahead, Scott. What do you think?
I should say I'm very good at making sure that the host can't talk, so I can just go ahead and take over.
I love it. I love it.
I'm taking over the show, right?
No, this is what it's all about. For you.
Yeah. Let's start with premium cards going the way of the Dodo, and then we'll come back to the Sapphire Preferred. For the average Joe, boy, it is a steep cost for some of these things. And we're all waiting to see the American Express Platinum card. Are they going to go, 800?
Where do you think?
Above? I was going to put them in that $800 range before, but I don't know if the Sapphire Preferred changed the calculus on that and if they're rethinking it right now. I think they need to do something that just wows everybody.
You think it'll be over? Would you think it'll push 1,000, or do you think 895?
No, I think 850, 875.
850. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought 850 for
Don't
a while.
hold me to it.
We've been saying this for months. I thought 850 for a while, because you're bumping 900. You have to match it with another card to make it work, right? If you're gonna get the currency in Amex, but and then you're pushing $1,200.
So many people don't. So Boxer, I think part of it is these are becoming big city cards to start with. I got a friend in Florida, never goes to Resi restaurants, and he did a search. It was 142 miles or something ridiculous like that to the nearest one from where he lives. Never takes Uber, never takes Lyft. There's no Equinox within 500, 600 miles. So, like, at a certain point, is the American Express Platinum, does it make sense for people who don't live in big cities? I live in Manhattan. I actually do belong to Equinox. It's right up the road from me.
You would. You know what? You're the first ever to tell me that. Really, Scott? That's not even playing fair. But
and I will just say that $300 does not cover much at Equinox. We'll just leave it at that. If I could qualify for the black card, which comes with a membership, it would be worth every penny.
Wow.
in that case.
Is that a goal for you, the black card?
No. I mean, if I made that much money, I wouldn't be thinking about what credit card I would be using.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it'd be pretty darn cool to throw that down at dinner, wouldn't it?
You know, wait a minute. You know that there is a company out there that can give you your own black card.
I know.
You know, the line card could do whatever you want the line card to do. But it's fake, and I get it. I get it, but you know, come on. To be real, the way it works.
Put the brag tags on my bag.
My WEPAS card is a City Strata Premier.
There you go.
And of course, and I got to throw this plug, even with Scott on, my Ekster wallet. Do you have an Ekster wallet, Scott? Do you use this Ekster wallet to keep your cards?
I put my stuff not in an extra wallet, but an extra binder.
It's a really like super organized and neat. I mean,
and honestly, it's breaking at the seams.
It's breaking.
I have random credit cards just sitting in a drawer where I need to what I'm
spending. Oh my God, I can't.
Wallet and then my actual like physical wallet.
Oh my God, I love it. I freaking love it.
So I want to answer Boxer's question though. You know, premium cards. People are getting annoyed with the fees. They're getting annoyed with the couponing. There are super wealthy people who just want to have the best credit card and don't want to think twice about it. They want the lounge access. They hit the $75,000 in spend on the Amex Platinum card at 1x without thinking about it. Right. And I think this community underestimates just how many people do that. So that's the first thing. For the average Joe, I mean, let's just start with the coupon booking. There's like a lot of geography where this does not make sense. I mean, Joe, where's your nearest Equinox?
Damn.
Exactly.
It would have to be New York. I'm guessing New York.
I think there's one somewhere off.
Or is there one in Paramus maybe? But
yeah,
I mean, I don't work out, so there's that.
Well, there you go.
These guns prove it. You know, it is what it is. You know, come on.
I mean, I do work out, and I'm kind of sad to show what I've got for it. See, now you've got me looking to see like where there's one. Oh, we got two in New Jersey, one in Paramus and one in Summit. Well, that's
look at that. That's crazy.
There's one on Route 17 in Paramus.
That's what I figured.
Yes. So there you go. You can take advantage of your $300 grant.
So is that something that should drive people, I guess, that, and I tell them all the time, look, you could have the nicest looking card, the latest and the greatest, but if forget it has to suit you. You can't go out of your way to drive to wherever the hell and use a gym or to do whatever just to justify the price.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny. I was out with some friends the other night. We were talking about global entry. And I'm like, I'll pay for your whole family's global entry. And the friends looked at us and they're like, there are four of us. It's, $120 a head or whatever. Well, one of the kids is free now, but the others weren't. And I'm like, oh, don't worry. I've got 22 cards with global entry credits. I'll never use them all in 5 years. Like
that's the thing. I'm glad you said that. I wanted to ask you this, Scott, because I know we've been in points and miles, but I had some questions here that I promised. Texas Dog and Mac Clausen had asked me
what about
this.
our poor Sapphire Preferred question?
Okay, I will get to that. But,
okay, don't forget it.
This was, I won't, I promise. But I think that people wanted to know this and just were trying to be really kind to me online and not ask me online. How can a website or publication be objective in the coverage of an industry that also accounts for the majority of its revenue from ads and referrals?
Great question. And it's one I ask every day. And I used to run one of the sites that was in that business. I think if you lose your credibility, you lose everything. And you need to be very aware of that brand and not say things that are inaccurate out there. That said, any Tuesday morning you can go to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those blogs, and they are all promoting the same 2 or 3 cards because there's a limited time offer. They're all making a ton of money off of those referrals. I think any savvy consumer out there needs to read the facts, and they're not going to lie to you. They're not going to tell you what's right or wrong, but they're going to show you offers that might not be the best for you, or an offer that there might be a different card that's out of the credit card affiliate network that might make more sense for you. So I'll give an example. And Joe, you actually just took advantage of one of these, which was the IHG, what was it, 5 nights?
5 nights, right, 5 nights.
5 nights. Marriott's done it recently,
right,
and Hyatt has done it recently. Well, someone I used to work with used to call me Mr. Fancy Pants. I'm not staying at those 50,000 point a night hotels if I can do so, or the category 1 through 4s. I'm using my points, generally speaking, for either peak summer dates at those hotels, like, when the $100 night hotel now costs $500 because
right,
it's 4th of July weekends and you're at the airport, or I'm staying at a higher end hotel and burning through a lot more points for it. Those offers do not make sense for the way I travel, and I know that. I do not have an Alaska Airlines credit card. I've done the math on this, and unless there's a really good sign-up bonus, it just has not been worth it for me. I'm not going to use the $99 companion ticket living in New York. I struggle to use my Delta companion tickets living in New York sometimes, just because of my travel habits and when I'm traveling with the family or not, and when we buy tickets. So, I think it's you as a consumer have to understand the system and what cards make sense for you and what you're going to redeem, and take some of it with a grain of salt. Just like, I worked in media for many years, and, Associated Press is one of the most in the middle, trusted by the left and the right publications, but there were still times when, people's bias come through. I am a white man living in Manhattan. I have a bias based on my life experiences. I know that. And that goes into some of my reporting. And there are certain topics where I am just not the best person for reporting. Mostly flying coach on Spirit Airlines, but bad joke, folks. I actually love Spirit in some ways.
Oh my God! But they're going premium, aren't they? I mean,
everyone's going premium. I float Allegiant. It was for work, but I flew them. But I think, when you look at everything today, whether it's your Instagram or TikTok feed or Facebook, people are monetizing everything. Advertising dollars are flowing to influencers to tell stories. And look, if you go way back to the radio days or the early days of TV, there were always sponsors and there was always a relationship with them. What the web in particular did is made that relationship very linked to the specific content. And if you bear with me for one more minute, I'll tell you how I like to explain it, which is think back to the 1990s in your local newspaper. I grew up reading the Bergen Record, and there was always a big automotive section.
Yeah.
There weren't many stories in it, maybe 4 or 5. And then every single auto ad you could imagine, from used cars to oil changes to the latest lease and purchase deals from all the dealerships. That section existed only to support the ads. Yeah, you gave a little bit of auto advice, but in reality, everyone went to it for the ads. But it wasn't like the content, the stories you were reading were directly linked to that money. When you read a credit card story on one of the travel blogs and then you click apply, that is where there's a direct connection. So what I tend to tell people is look for what's not on those sites and do your own research using their formulas and all the tricks that they've taught you. So you don't see a Bank of America or Wells Fargo rewards card as much on those sites. They don't play the affiliate game. They don't need to. It's a little different audience. They do direct mail. They work with partners and they work through the branches. But I have a Bank of America cash rewards card, again, to museums for free on the first day of the month, and I get 3% back on a category. That's a good card for a lot of people. It's not going to get you outsized rewards, but it's a good card. So I think the message there is just do some research.
Okay, I appreciate that. So I'm going to ask you a few questions here. One was, again, from Matt, do publications ever get NDA'd about certain credit card changes or new cards? Or do they find out about the same time that the Reddit sphere has? And do you even read Reddit? I don't read Reddit for anything, but do you do that?
Sure. So generally speaking, there are a handful of sites that often do get NDAs and get the information in advance on certain cards. And what I always find interesting is you can notice almost a blackout in coverage 2, 3, 4 days before the launch of an LTO, limited time offer. So that's interesting to see. I'm sorry, I forgot the second question, Ray Joe.
No, so do you use Reddit?
Do I use Reddit? Yeah. I do. I'm not a giant Reddit. I do not post on Reddit. I have a few forums kind of bookmarked that I come to. A lot of times I'm actually finding better answers to my questions on Reddit than other places. I was very big on Flyer Talk and all those communities for a very long time. Honestly, these days, I'm spending more time thinking about the pillow-to-pillow side of the industry. For those who are just joining, that's, thinking about the entire trip from when you wake up until when you go to bed in a hotel or back home again. And I haven't been as deep in the weeds of maximizing redemptions or learning all the perks or figuring out which first class cabin is the best to fly.
So I had this last question, and then we'll hit the questions in the chat.
Yep.
This one's a little bit, if you can't answer it, I totally understand.
Throw it my way.
You left the points guy, and my person that asked me this question said they loved it when you were there. And when did the points guy jump the shark?
So first of all, does anyone know where the phrase "jump the shark" came from?
Happy Days.
I do. Happy Days.
Happy Days. Fonzie jumping over the shark.
Skiing, right?
100%. Yeah.
Not enough people, everyone uses the phrase, but doesn't actually know the episode where that came from.
I'm a big time Happy Days nerd.
Okay.
So.
Perfect. Good. Just want to get that out of the way. When I joined, people said the site had jumped the shark. And 5 years before I joined, people said the site had jumped the shark because the founder had sold it to a different company. I think that things evolve over time, and each site is different based on who is running it at the moment. And you can see that with newspapers. You can see that with TV shows. Yeah, I used to work at ABC News, and I was lucky enough to be there where there were 3 different anchors for the nightly news show. And each one brought in their own people and their own theme to it. I'm a hard news guy, and I believe that the entire site should be giving you the information you want to know about a company, its finances, new airplanes. I had 2 hotel reporters, one of them who was an industry person who talked about development and contracts and earnings, and the other who I would describe as the touchy-feely inspirational person who talked about the scent as you walked into a room and the thread count and the vibe of a resort. And I think that's my long way of kind of saying you need it. In my vision, you need a little of everything. You need someone who's talking about cruises. Even if your core audience isn't about cruise, it's part of the industry. It's the fastest growing part of the industry, and it's a multi-generational part of the industry. And at the same point, it impacts, if you're going to Venice, you need to know about cruise ships because 10,000 people will flood the city during the day if there are 5 ships in town. And just knowing how to kind of think about all those parts. So I would not say personally that the site has jumped the shark. I've heard that from people since I've left. I've heard that from people when I arrived. I heard that before I arrived. I think each person who has a vision puts that vision into place. I personally liked my vision, and that was what I got to execute on. Other people have other visions, and that's sort of how media works. It is driven a lot of times by the people who are there thinking about how to spread news in the best way.
Thank you. And I appreciate you answering, because I know it's you're still involved with a lot of the people. We talked about it offline. And I just wanted to make sure we were treading the right way.
Look, Joe, I'm an honest guy, and I'll say what's on my mind. And, a lot of the people I personally hired are still there, and I respect the work that they are doing every day. And is it the only site I am reading? No, but it never was. I have my daily digest of 10 to 15 places that I go for information.
And could you share some of those that you look at?
I mean, they're going to be all the sites that everyone here knows about, plus Reddit, plus Flyer Talk, plus some people on Twitter who are putting stuff out. And, I get news clipping services too that give me sort of industry newsletters. The one thing that I don't think enough people are actually thinking about, just as Reddit is having a renaissance, LinkedIn is really having a moment. And I know people are like, what? LinkedIn, the professional network? But I'm really finding there are certain people who will say really interesting things on LinkedIn. The route planner for United, not so much CEO level, but like 1 or 2 levels beneath that. There's some travel industry analysts, even some journalists who feel handcuffed in what they can write tend to be more open there. So, all right. Where do we want to go from here?
So we had the Sapphire Preferred question. We can go there. What's a good card to match with the Sapphire Preferred?
All right. So if you want to stay in the Chase ecosystem, obviously the Freedom Unlimited, that whole family of no annual fees are good. You have to figure out like which card to use. I actually think the Freedom Unlimited right now is a really undervalued card. You get your 3 points on dining, which is really generous.
Right.
You get 3 points at drugstores. And you get 1.5 on everything else. It's a very simple set it, forget it type of card. And then you can transfer points easily into the preferred. I love that. I do have like 5 or 6 Freedom cards between my wife and myself. Some of those have been downgrades over the years. And the quarterly bonus game, it's very lucrative at 5x, but I haven't really loved many of the bonus categories and seem to never hit more than $1,000 in a quarter in any of them. But, someone who drives a lot might hit the gas one, or if you're into the buying of gift cards and maximizing that way, sure. I do actually like the Amex Gold card. I think it's like that nice middle sweet spot. I know a lot of people are a little intimidated by the $300+ fee, the Dunkin' Donuts $7 monthly credit, the $10 Uber. I use Uber. I stock up a $7 monthly reload of Dunkin' on my Dunkin' app and eventually buy coffee, or my daughter's birthday, buy 2 dozen donuts for school. It adds up. But yeah, I do think that's good. I really like the Bank of America. I always forget the name. It's the red, no annual fee cash rewards where you choose your 3% category.
Okay.
It's a good card. And then, there are a lot of people who are just like, forget it, I'm doing Citi double cash back or Fidelity rewards 2% and not thinking about it. I like Built in the current format. It's card for renters where you can get rent on it, but it gets 3x on dining. They are going to change the card. They're coming out with 2 other tiers. We're all waiting to see what becomes of that program. It's clear it's been too lucrative for users and that people are not carrying a balance like they expected. So, we'll see where that program goes.
Okay. Thank you. Now, the Dollar Man. Thank you for the super chat, Dollar Man. I appreciate that, puppy. Thank you. Hi, Scott. It seems like ChatGPT and others are answering travel questions using the Points Guys articles, do you know how AI is affecting TPG and other travel sites?
Hey, Dollar Man, this is really a larger thing for media in general. Yeah, many companies made their money off of SEO, search engine optimization. You put in a query and, what is the best card for lounge access? What is the best card for, Delta flyers, that sort of thing. And, NerdWallet shows up, creditcards.com, the Points Guy, View from a Wing, 1 mile at a time, upgraded points, you name it. They're all there in one way or another. And depending on who ranked best, you clicked on it and you read the story and you hopefully applied for a credit card. That was really their business model. It's the same for New York Times Wirecutter or some of the other review sites. What is the best toaster under $500? What's the best toaster under $40? Really fancy, really budget. All of those sites make money through affiliate, and they were winning through search engine optimization. You brought in SEO consultants and experts, you'd refresh stories, you'd look at headlines. ChatGPT has killed that. Google Gemini has killed that. Is it Gemini? Yeah, I always get Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, way too many names out here. We all just say ChatGPT. It's the Xerox or Kleenex of our generation.
Right.
So you ChatGPT it, and it tends to pull from certain sites. But now, instead of clicking through to the site and clicking through to apply for a card, you're just taking the answer from there and then maybe doing some other research. So it's not just going to apply to the travel sites, it's going to apply all over. You have to think just travel sites make money sometimes when you click through and book a hotel through them. You read a review on some site or newspaper, and it takes you to a booking site. They're possibly getting a commission off of that. And I think a lot of that is going to change with AI.
Thank you. All right. So I want to thank, this is my cousin, Manny Matos. Manny, I love you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Looking good. I appreciate you, puppy. I have new again, Joey B with another banger, popcorn, yellow striped smile. Thanks for dropping Scott. I appreciate that. I booked my return flight in business. Avengers, how you doing? In the UK in the fall for a Tuesday, 44-cent per point value on Virgin Atlantic. What do you think about that?
I am in awe. Wow.
Really? See, I've never flown that.
44 cents.
That's savage, great. Right? I guess.
But it's during the fall, so that goes back to the question we had way at the beginning. You're going to see some value in the fall, some really good deals, particularly if it is middle of the week. City 6X dining week. Is it weekend program or is it Friday? That's Friday night out,
elite,
right?
That's that City Nights for the elite card.
Yeah, Strata.
So you come out ahead if you live in Hawaii. If you live on the East Coast, you get banged over the head because it's so limited in time. What do you think about that? Do you think they're going to nerf it?
I don't think so. I actually think that it is so restricted that they'll go for it. I mean, I have the Built card, and they've got their Rente promo where they give you double points on Rente. I've been too lazy recently to even use my card on that. First of the month comes around and it's a Tuesday night.
That's why I don't get it.
I'm not going out that night. I mean, maybe, but if I am, I'm not spending $100 on dinner. Sylvia's asking about this JetBlue promo.
Yeah, where can you find out? She just got the card.
Yeah, so it's called the TrueBlue Partner Passport Challenge. Wow, that is a mouthful. The True Blue Partner Passport Challenge. I'm sure if you Google it, their landing page will come up and there'll be a link to register for it.
Thank you. Sylvia, I love you, Sylvia. Dennis says, rack 'em and stack 'em. JC, hi, Jones. Hi, Scott. What do you think becomes of JetBlue and Southwest in 5 years? I know you may not be able to answer the JetBlue version, but.
Yeah, I can't really talk specifically about where I think individual airlines are going, but honestly, I wouldn't guess because this industry has changed so many times so quickly over the years. I mean, who would have ever thought that Pan Am and TWA would disappear, that, Northwest Delta would merge, America West and US Airways would basically take over American Airlines, United Continental would merge, AirTran would go away, and now Hawaiian and Alaska. So I don't know what's going to happen. All I can say about the industry right now is you're starting to get a new dynamic. If I look back pre-pandemic, I'm going to say just US, you got 3 tiers of airlines. Big network carriers, American, Delta, United. Middle of the road, which is Southwest, JetBlue, and Alaska, each with an own different niche. JetBlue really strong to the Caribbean and on the East Coast. Leisure airline mostly with some business travel. Alaska, mix of leisure and business, very strong on the West Coast. And then Southwest, the one-time discounter that grew to be the largest domestic airline and, doesn't really win over the coast, but controls like the rest of the country. If you want to go from Oklahoma to St. Louis, Southwest is probably the way to go. And then at the very bottom, you had the ULCCs, Frontier, Spirit, Allegiant, the renewed Sun Country, let alone, that has changed. You now have Avelo and Breeze kind of nipping away in this other spot. Delta and United have become the darlings, big network carriers with a premium side to it. Americans, trying to play a little bit of catch up there. And then you've got sort of this middle and bottom that are not sure where they fit into the new world order, which is people still taking leisure trips, people wanting a little bit more of an upgrade in some cases, business travel that turned into, I hate this term, leisure, where you took your work trip and you worked from a hotel a few days. Well, now people have back to office mandates and that's going away. So I don't want to make any guesses because who knew 2 years ago we'd be talking about a Pratt & Whitney engine issue that grounded, a third of Spirit's fleet. And will the price of oil drop to $40, $50 a barrel, or will it be 100 plus a barrel and we're all going to be in trouble? The one thing that I've learned over the years is that airlines take in billions in revenue and make minuscule profits. I mean, we can talk about the millions that Delta made during the last quarter, but it was still like a 10 or 12% margin. And during the busiest time of the year, and compare that to an insurance company making 40% profit margin or something like that. So I'm not defending the airlines, but anyway, that is my way of saying this is such a dynamic industry and there is constantly a need to catch up. And I'm going to actually answer Sylvia's question about model planes.
Go ahead.
With one of my favorites, which is
beautiful.
A plane that has not flown. I'm not sure it will fly ever, but this is the Boom Overture. And it's in the United livery, supersonic, bring the Concorde back. If United actually gets this thing flying, is this going to change aviation once again? Or, I have an argument that I don't need to fly the Concorde to London. The flight to London from New York is already too short because I'm now in a fancy lie-flat bed, and I actually want 2 or 3 extra hours so I can sleep on that plane.
When did that plane fly for the first time? I remember as a kid being in the street.
This one hasn't. This is not the Concorde.
The Concorde itself. When did it? Was it the 70s?
70s. Yeah.
I remember being in the street. Me and my friends were looking because we knew it was going to fly over. We lived near the water in the Bronx, and the airport was there. Yeah. And I remember that. It was amazing to see that plane fly over,
It was great, but, they were charging.
That's a cool plane that you have, though.
It was for the super rich who, flying was already attainable for many people. It was just opening up a decade earlier. But this was like the plane to be on, highly inefficient. I'm still kind of like, where is the supersonic market going to be? Yeah. Is it going to be East Coast to Asia, West Coast to Asia? I'm not sure yet, but I give it as an example of just how this industry keeps changing and is going to keep changing.
Thank you. So I have Howard that says, Jefe, thanks for a good show. Scott is a great guest. WEPAS, how you doing? My girl Karen Myrie live from Brooklyn también. Let me see. Joe can't hide his lion card. I can't. I'm so sorry. Veronica Vero, how you doing, my love? Legendary. Thank you, my love. That binder looked like our old school CD binder from the 90s. I love it.
Karen, those are elsewhere. I've still got my CDs somewhere.
I love it. It says, watch Amex pull the ultimate troll move. They up the annual fee to $9.95, but on top, more credits you get. God, that would be brutal. 2 free authorized users who get their own free priority pass Centurion. 2 free guests when you go to Centurion. It's true. What do you think about things like that? Do you feel that, let's say what Capital One did that people called a nerf, where they're reining in people from using the lounges? You travel a lot. You deal with lounges a lot. What's your thought on the overcrowding with the lounges? I had a lot of people asking about that question.
So I want to go to Background Balloons thing where annual fee is not going to mean more lounge access. More spend is going to be more lounge access. And that is my prediction for 2025 or 2026. You are going to see more things where it's like, if you put $75,000 on this card, then you can bring your guest in. And maybe if you put $100,000 on your card, you get to the top of the list, so you don't have to wait as long.
Have you ever had to wait? Have you ever had to wait?
Yeah. Have I ever had to wait? Why don't you flip the question around? When have I not had to wait?
Which card makes you wait? Okay, the reserve, the platinum, or which one or which airport have you had to wait the most on average? And I know you're all over the place, but like, I get people sending me pictures where they're like, look at this line. This sucks. Look at this. This is terrible. Why did I bother to pay $800 for this card?
All right. I have waited this year, just this calendar year, for a Capital One lounge, for an American Express lounge, for the Delta lounge, and for a Priority Pass lounge. So all of those. Delta's crowding has been much better now that they've limited the rules and limited the number of visits. It's helped that they've opened the Delta One lounge at JFK because it puts more people there instead of the other lounges. Although I hear that sometimes can have delays. I have gifted people my one-day passes to United, and I feel bad for them. They want to use it, and like, there are often, sorry, no one-day passes allowed here. So that's sad. You know what? Some people are saying, forget the $1,000 annual fee. I'm just going to a good restaurant. Airport dining is much better. Spend $40 before your flight and have a good drink, good meal, and I don't practice what I preach, but there are people out there who are just saying that.
But see, here's the difference, though. You do it for a living. And I tell people, if you don't fly enough, why pay the $800 up front, right? For lounge access that you might use once. Take 100 of that 800, and like you just said, go to a restaurant in the airport, the bougier one, have a drink, all your own shots. You don't have to wait on the list, and move on, right? Like I just,
because it's all for the Instagram. I'm sitting in the lounge having my champagne, cheers, or
damn, you went there. I love it. No. You went to the Instagram. I love that. Because that's
you can follow me at Instagram, GlobeTrotScott.
John, can you put that at GlobeTrotScott? Thank you. Absolutely. Look at this is new again. Yo, Scott, what 3 things would you advise someone wanting to start a travel blog or vlog besides good accountant, etc.? Stuff mostly probably miss.
Yeah. First, what's your niche? Like, everybody wants to be a travel blogger. People want free trips. They want to kind of take advantage of the world, make it into a business. But like, what are you bringing to the travel world that others don't? So, I follow on YouTube a family that is gluten and dairy free. And they write about their food adventures. They're also big Disney fans, but they weave in travel, but there's always a theme of food with it. There's someone I know who goes by Muslim Travel Girl, and she writes about what it's like as a Muslim woman traveling in the world and what she faces and how she deals with it. So I think the first question is like, what are you going to do that's different from everyone else? What's your voice? Next thing is, visual. Everything's visual these days. So if you're going to do a vlog, boy, a lot of work right there. A lot of work goes into video editing. How are you going to do it? What's going to be light? How much is that going to weigh you down? Where do you set up your shots? Do you have time to do it? Even if you're doing just a traditional blog, images are everything. Look at all the hotel reviews you see online. If you notice that there's no one at the pool chairs, that's because these people wake up at 5 a.m. to get photos of the pool before anyone is there. And, it looks beautiful, but great. So all right. Thank you. Third thing there is, figure out who in the industry you need to talk to, if at all. If you are focusing on Disney, get to know the team at Disney. Doesn't mean you have to be in their pocket, but at least get to know them. I don't think enough people do work with the actual brands and understand that there is a relationship there that helps. Okay. Jonathan wants to know about Delta.
Yep. So before I go to Jonathan's, I have to say, full transparency, and I said it to other people, I said it on the lives, I got to meet you because of Steve Ashkenazi. So at 8:30, I know I'm behind in the chats, at 8:30 tonight, Steve, I love you. Steve and I talked about points and miles before it was a thing in the 90s when he put everything on his American Airlines card. And watch, I know the answer to this. Where is Steve's favorite place to go to every single year with the family?
Aruba.
Aruba. Exactly. He's been doing that since the 90s. So I need to
He,
thank Steve Askenazi in Lake Worth just for him extending the outreach to you and for you to agree to come on tonight, because I know you're crazy busy and I need to thank you. So I want to put that out there. Thank you, because you said you've given so much information today that I'm sure people, it's never been this like just crazy in the chat where I have a lot of questions and I know. So after Jonathan's question, what we could do is we're going to do rapid fire so that I
okay,
can get to people. Fair enough?
fair enough. I
I
will
wanted to
talk
do this
quicker.
with Jonathan. Jonathan has this. I want to do it. Is it worth it? Delta Platinum and Reserve give them silver medallion status. Is it worth getting that for silver medallion? Is that a good spot for Delta? I've never really flown them. I have their business card, but never flown them. What do you think?
Look, any status is better than no status. I think there was a question earlier, what good is status when everyone has status? And the answer is you're ahead of other people when, can I say when the stuff hits the fan? Well,
Yeah,
we know
the
what
crap
I'm
hits the
talking
fan.
about.
100%.
When the crap hits the fan, you at least are able to make transfers onto another flight or hopefully get above everyone else. Gold is better than silver. Platinum's better. I'm currently diamond. It's great. I've been 360. And, you know, that's the secret society. That's even better when they drive you from one plane to another in the Porsche. What I will say.
You've been driven in the Porsche?
This is going to be a whole separate discussion. Yes, I've been driven in the Porsche a few times. We'll just leave it at that. Here's the thing, Jonathan. Here's the thing about Delta status. Are you going to use it? Are you doing 5 trips a year? Are you doing 10 trips? Are you hoping for a free upgrade? What is the cost for you? Like, are you putting spend on your reserve card to hit it? I think those are all the questions you have to think about. You know, I've hit 10,000 MQDs, which is, you know, about 10,000 in spend on Delta this calendar year, plus the credit card bonuses. You know, I fly a lot. It's worth it for me. Is it worth it for you? That was not rapid fire.
No, but no, I agree. No, that was after. So thank you for that. All right, my man Boxer, you mentioned Wells is a different audience. You think that's why they're slow to release their premium cards?
I don't think it's their line of business. You know, I think that there is a whole separate line of business where they are involved in home loans and consumer banking, and that's why they have not made premium cards as important to them.
Thank you. Rex, my man Rex, being part of ABC News, how did you find broadcast journalism being compromised by CIA talking points affecting your dedication to the truth?
I was covering travel at the end of my time at ABC, and I was online, and I'm in my own little world there.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Charlie Gibson, nice guy or no?
I always liked working with Charlie. I did a story once where I went to a private island that was for sale in the Bahamas, and it was only for our web version of the TV. I was never good enough for network. And Charlie called me our chief globe-trotting correspondent, Scott Mayerowitz. I still have that clip today, but I always liked working with him, and I loved his dedication to sort of old school journalism. And, you know, he brought a different sensibility to the nightly news show when he moved over there from morning. And I always liked what he brought to it.
Now, I'm going to introduce you to, here she goes, Nadine. Nadine is a friend of the family for years, Nadine Tuzo. She has been on before as a guest. She travels the globe as well. She has her own business, and it's called the Man Club, ironically, MANN.club. She's just amazing, and she sets up a lot of different excursions and things of that nature. And she promotes a lot of women empowerment. So I want to give Nadine a shout
Awesome.
out for being here. Nadine, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, I have a question here. I knew this one was coming. No hard bullet traps. I'd ask him what the B6 CEOs doing to keep voter confidence from the board. Must have been compromising pictures. All right. I love using my JetBlue points and only paying $11 for flights. That's Nadine. That's $11, right? If you use your points, that's all they charge you.
Yeah, it's the same across all the airlines. It's
Okay.
taxes and fees for TSA. Nadine, if you like women in travel in particular, I'm going to pitch out a site I love called Her Tellier. So not hotelier, but Her Tellier. And it's about women in hospitality doing really awesome things. It's more industry focused, but I really like them.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down for her because
I'll put it in the chat too. I think my messages are only going to you.
yeah, going to the private. Right. If you use your phone, you can put it in the chat.
Oh, okay, of course.
So,
oh wait, here we go. I can join the chat right now.
Yeah. Jimmy Jack 64. What's up, primo? How you doing, Jimmy Jack? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Vegas Hawk wants to know, what do you think of the Alaska Virgin Delta lawsuit? I have no idea what that is.
Oh, it has to do with Alaska purchased Virgin America and chose not to use the name and doesn't want to pay the licensing fees for it. Delta is actually a part owner. Let's not get into it. It is just one of those crazy.
So it's a cluster.
As I said before, you never know what's going to happen in this airline industry. And I always forget Virgin America got purchased by Alaska, basically killed off the brand, sold its airplanes, moved back to all Boeing, but is still paying licensing fees, but didn't want to pay them. It's gone to the courts. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Texas Dog. Thank you for the memberships, Texas Dog. I appreciate it. Thank you, Texas Dog. Honestly, Memphis Mike, the amount of money Delta gets from Amex is mind-boggling. Same for me. Delta Nadine just bought a round-trip ticket with my Sky Miles last night, $11.20 in taxes. Thank you, Karen. You're from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. See that, everybody here. I have here background balloon. If only someone Priority Pass didn't remove Priority Pass restaurants.
Yes.
U.S. Bank Altitude Connect for the win. What do you think about that?
I've heard great things about that, actually.
Yeah.
I have not done it. Well, sorry, the Altitude card, wasn't that the one where they were offering the 5%, but then they stopped offering it to new users? They nerfed it, so to speak.
Wasn't that the Smartly? That was depending on how much money you had.
Simplify.
Okay. I don't have any of their cards.
Yeah, they're the Altitude's different one. I'm sorry. They're following the Bank of America model, which is if you have like a Merrill Lynch investment account plus a mortgage plus everything, you can earn like 4 or 5% cash back on certain categories. It actually is really the whole relationship banking, and not enough folks are actually doing that. I'm waiting for more to do it, but we haven't seen that. Yeah.
Thank you. Background Balloon says, LOL, Scott, right though. Being able to flex on social media that I got to go to the lounge and get free champagne is the bigger selling point of Priority Pass, not the actual lounge experience itself. Yeah. GlobeTrotScott, followed by the points guy. No surprise there. Great information, says Ralph. Question from Avengers. How much do you think American Airlines will devalue their miles after becoming a city transfer partner? Great question.
I don't know that they will necessarily. Remember, they just did a head-to-head competition with Citibank versus Barclays. Remember, with the U.S. Airways merger, they had both credit cards. Barclays is going to be phased out. I don't know the terms of it, but I'm assuming Citi paid a pretty good amount of money to get that exclusive deal. And I'm completely making this up. This is all speculation, but let's say Citi was paying half a cent per mile. Now they might have to be paying 1.2 cents per mile or something like that. Again, making this up, I don't know, but I'm assuming whatever the terms are there, it was actually favorable to American, not Citi.
Now, speaking of Citi, what is your thought on the new Elite card that came out? Is it worth it? Strata Elite. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes. Do you think it's a card that's worth paying $595 for? Or do you feel that you're better off if you're not a frequent traveler and a priority pass doesn't mean a damn thing to you? Do you just stick with the Premier?
I'm going to just say 4 trips a year, in my mind, is the cutoff point between a $99 card and anything above it.
Okay, no, that's great that you said that. So 4 trips you think is like a good enough where you get enough value?
Yeah, unless you are a big city elite or big spender or small business owner, something like that. So look, if you're a small business owner, let's say you own a pizza shop somewhere and you're spending, $2-3 million on equipment and food and supplies, great. Play the game. You can spend your way of status. You can do whatever. If you're somebody who goes out for a lot of dinners or entertains clients a lot, then it's probably worth it to have one of those cards. In other cases, look, I have the American Express Blue Preferred card. I always get them confused. That's the $99 card that gets you 6% back on your first.
The Blue Cash Preferred, yes.
First 6,000 in spend on groceries.
Correct.
And 6% back on streaming services, I think.
And they just raised their cap, I think, for Disney to get more whatever.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. But I get my Disney as my streaming credit from my other card.
I get it.
Yeah. It's a great card for many people. 6,000 on groceries in a year. I can see a lot of families hitting that.
Right. Okay.
Before they spend 6,000 on restaurants, actually.
No, it's true.
And the Chase Sapphire is designed for people who spend much more than 6,000 a year on restaurants and travel and all that. I take clients out for meals. I'm traveling a lot. I'll sometimes pay for a 20, 30 person dinner as part of a work type thing. It's a great card for me. It's not a great card for everyone. So, I'm making up this 4 to 6 trips, let's call it.
But it makes sense. You need a baseline, though.
You need a baseline, and you need to kind of look yourself in the mirror, Do you want this card because you want to drop a fancy card at dinner and you want to be posting, social media, hey, we're going on a trip, cheers in the lounge? Or do you want, to get the best value out of it? And I'll say this, 2% cashback card with no annual fee, you don't have to think about it. You get cash. Cash can be used anywhere, from the cute little bed and breakfast to the 1,000-room Marriott. It doesn't matter. If there's a room, you can use cash to pay for it. You are not going to get outsized value. And I think a lot of the folks here are looking for outsized value. But you know what? Set it, forget it. There you go.
Now, if you had to choose, because you have every premium card I'm imagining, right? You have Venture X, Platinum, Reserve. If you could only have one, which would it be? I know Steve loved the Reserve, probably not before more so before the change is coming, I'm sure. But
I'm hearing from Steve a lot about the Reserve.
I got the messages. Yeah.
And I'm sure I will have that come up when I go to Aruba later this month, because I will hear that. I feel like we need to tell everyone that Steve's my father-in-law, And I have the honor of marrying his eldest daughter, and she's amazing. And
When did you get married? When did you get married?
Oh, now you're asking me when I got married.
Yeah.
No. Let me check my ring because it's actually inside of here now. 2014. So 11 wonderful years of marriage and hopefully many, many more. We started late in life. If I had to choose one, I would actually go with Venture X. Just for simplicity. Simplicity.
That hurt me in the heart.
I know, but here's why.
God, Venture X.
It gets me basic premium type things, gets me transferable points. It's a set it, forget it. Honestly, if I had to choose one, I'd probably go with the cashback card at that point.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Venture X. I thought you were going to go platinum or reserve. I swear to God.
I mean, look, I love all my cards. I mean, let's just, well, this is my business platinum I've got on me right now. This is my reserve. I've got my Venture X.
Now you have the United Club card too, right?
I do. And the United
I got that card now. What do you think about that card?
So I did a status match actually to United recently. I did not actually get to keep it, but I flew them a lot. One of my clients flies them a lot, so I'm with him often. But here's my current lineup of United cards. So you can see that I've got the Club, the Quest, and the business card. Will I keep all three of them? I don't know. But the United Club is, I've gotten access to it easily. I can bring my family in. I can bring guests in. The one in Orlando has a gelato machine, which I really like. You can make your own soft serve gelato. I know it's not a reason to keep a club, but see, there I go. Instagram moments. It's
I think it's a solid card. You get IHG Platinum status without having the IHG card.
Yeah, I have the IHG card.
Yes, but I live in Jersey, so I fly out of Newark, and Newark is the hub. And to be able to get priority access when I get there and avoid the nonsense and being able to use the lounge and not have to wait, because my sister had the passes and they made her wait. She was like, "Why are they making me wait?" I said, "Because you don't have the card." And she goes, "Oh, excuse me, I don't have the card." And I said, "Yeah, the card that your brother has." But
I think actually all three of the top tier co-brands for the airlines are really good if you are loyal to that airline. The spend on them is not rewarding. Gotcha. They don't have the same multipliers that a reserve would have, or an Amex Gold, or even the Blue Preferred. But you get into the lounges, you get, let's call it status light. They're basically giving you a silver membership, priority boarding, free checked bags. No one's getting upgraded. Just no one is. So don't even think about that. So it's a good way to make your flying, let's just say, tolerable.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. And that's what I tell people. I'm at that age where I can't deal with nonsense anymore. I'm tired of, I can't deal with crowds. I don't want to deal with a screaming kid. I'm done. I did that. I've been that life. And now I want simplicity. And by that, you have to, now, along those cards, you have a ton. Have you ever figured out how much you have in actual annual fees a year?
Oh, now you're shaming me. Yeah, I am currently at...
Drum roll, please, people.
$6,300. It's actually
but you actually use it.
$639.
But you use it. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference.
So I am in the business of consulting about credit cards and loyalty programs. So there are certain cards that I don't use, but that I need to understand the benefits. I need to be able to log in to get some information about. There are other cards that when there's an awesome promo, I will actually put some extra spend on them. And then there are cards that I keep just for the benefits, where it just makes sense for me.
And are you okay? This one just came to me. Do you really give a rat's ass about Chase 524 rule or no?
Oh yeah. I finally got under it recently. And now I'm back over it again. And I've got another 13 months till I get back under it.
I was under, and then I went right back over it with the IHG Premium. That's the card I just got.
Yeah, I ended up getting the United Quest card.
How do you like about the Quest? What do you think?
So I got it for the irrational reason that I got 3,000 PQPs towards status, which I needed to hit the next tier. I've literally had it in my hand for 3 days. So I'm not sure yet. I like the fact that the $200 flight credit already posted to my account. I'm so sick of these rideshare credits.
That's nonsense.
But I load $25 in my Lyft account from each of my cards, and eventually use Lyft for an expensive ride to the airport that I would do anyway. What I actually put a decent amount of spend on my United Club card, and I got the 10,000 point mileage coupons, which I think is really interesting. For those who don't know, if you hit certain thresholds, you get 10,000 points off a reward ticket of 10,000 or
That's
more,
great.
which is actually great. It's not technically 10,000 points in your account, but it's essentially that. I maximized the two of them by booking 2 one-way trips, and I did this. My wife and I were. It's actually for our flights on Thursday. Do I share this with everyone? Is Steve listening? Is anyone going to want to know what I did? So what they do is they give you PQPs on award travel. But let's say mine was 200 PQPs, and my wife, I assigned the 10,000 point reward to her. She would only get 100 PQPs, while I would get 200 PQPs or whatever it is.
Okay.
So I actually booked one ticket by mistake and used it for myself and was getting fewer PQPs. So I quickly canceled, refunded, and rebooked it, giving her the less, because she's not trying for status there. So love you, honey, wherever you are right now. But
I do the same thing. I'm like, honey, I'm so sorry I did that.
yes. But it's a little trick. If you do get those, make sure you assign them to your travel companion where you can, because you're losing out on status points.
Thank you. Now, DJ Bruce Wayne wants to know, do you see banks evolving to a premium cashback market like points? Example, the Saver X rumor or the BCP.
Oh, DJ Bruce Wayne, what can I say about that? I think the model is what you're seeing with Simplicity before they shut that down, and what you're seeing with Bank of America and the premium rewards card, where it's going to be linked to your balance and your overall relationship with them. So they want you to use their brokerage accounts. They want you to have savings, CDs, mortgage, whatever it is. So I think you are going to see much more about that.
Okay, thank you. Well, my girl Nadine says, WEPA, thank you for the information. That was, what was the name of that again? You said it was Hotelier, not Hotelier?
Yeah, I put I put them all in the private chat with you. For some reason, I can't log into the group chat, but I've got 3 links in there if you want to share them with the audience.
Let me see. Of course, they won't. The way that this is set up here, they don't let me. I see it. So it's, let me see if I can drag it down. Check with everyone.
Copy and paste it or send it around later. Anyway,
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Okay.
But
Nadine, I will get it for you, my love.
Yeah.
It's Hertelier?
Yes.
Okay.
Hertelier.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay.
Should we go back to talking about how great Steve is?
Yeah, well, yeah, we will. Absolutely. I want to say thank you first to James Ragland for the $20 super chat. What a great live, very informative. James is just an amazing supporter. Thank you, James, for that. I appreciate that. James, I really do appreciate you, puppy. YouTube Experiment said Mike, he posted and got lost. How does Scott find award flight availability?
Great question. I mean, I first start with sort of the big airlines who I know have it, where, I'll check United site, I'll check Aeroplan. But I'm going to give a plug to point.me. I think it's currently one of the easiest sites out there to help find availability, sort of for what's called the intermediate user. Seats.aero is another tool that's very big out there. It's a little bit more expert, but a great spot to
Is that the one with Amex? Which is the one with Amex?
Point.me has a deal with Amex, but through Amex, they only show you the currencies that Amex transfers to.
Okay, so if you have others, you can't get it.
Correct. Like United.
Okay. I just sent her the information.
Yeah, so, United will have different inventory than Air Canada Aeroplan will on United flights. So sometimes you can use Aeroplan, sometimes you have to use United.
All right. And Avengers 34 says, if you get the Strata Elite, make sure to schedule more work dinners on Friday and Saturday nights. I love it.
Those are family nights. Come on.
Yep. And DJ Bruce Wayne, pitch the WEPA Platinum Reserve. That's my card. Airport meal, doggy bags on flights. That works. I love it. I love it. So I have a disagreement here. New again. I disagree with notion new CSR is for big spenders fundamentally. It's designed to be pure profit. They throw a bunch of cheap trinkets in on it for that reason, to offer shiny things for the hype. I
think the real question is, are you going to use all the shiny things on it?
I
don't know. I don't know if I'm going to use all the shiny things.
No, I don't think so either. I locked in on the 550 amount because I knew they were going to raise it, just to try it out and then see if it's worth it or not next year. If not, I dropped it down to the CSP and called it a day.
So I referred my wife to it because she hadn't had it in 48 months. I got the referral bonus. She got the full sign-up bonus.
And then you could pull them together, right? Through Chase.
Of course. Savage. But more importantly, we've been using a lot of the benefits at the moment. We'll see if we both need the card. But StubHub, for instance, you can purchase a StubHub gift card, which I learned on Reddit. And that was a great Reddit tip because I just stocking up on that. We were in Chicago over the weekend and we walked into Saks and immediately we were like, do you sell gift cards? And the woman said to us, $50. She knew exactly what we were doing with our American Express Platinum cards.
So with the CSR, you get StubHub. You could just buy the thing, the gift card. And
you can go into the app on your phone and get it's $150 credit, get the $150 gift card, and it works that way. And then,
that works. That's a great gift.
Wait till you get $1,000 in StubHub credits over a few years and go to the Super Bowl.
That's so true. Oh my God. Rex says he admires your dedication to United. So what's your actual million miler tally with Delta?
1,020,000 miles. I hit million miles in April on the way back from Paris with the family, and I've flown about 20,000 miles, but in seat since then.
Wow. Ian says, sorry I missed it, can't wait to watch. Thank you, Ian, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that, Ian. Scott, this is how I think the banks are coming for easy cashback rewards. won't even just 2%. You'll need an enhanced relationship.
It's possible. I mean, look, everyone's looking at legislation around interchange fees. I don't know that it's going to happen. It was closer to happening. If that happens, you get the European model where you're getting less than a cent back per dollar spent. So who knows where it's going, but enjoy it while you can.
Absolutely. I have 2 more questions for you because I know we're coming in on 2 hours. If you had to start the credit card game, this is my man Vincent, all over again, what would you do differently? Put another way, what advice do you give someone who wants to jump in the game?
All right, so Vincent, I'm going to answer it. If I had to start back over again when I started it way back in the day, I would have thought more about lifetime status. You know, I started this game when I was 19, 20, still in college. Back then, every dollar you spent on like American Airlines would count towards your million-miler lifetime status. That's all gone away, and I missed the boat on that one. So that is my answer. But what advice would I give to someone? Start off slow. You don't need to be crazy. You don't need to have this many credit cards, and do the math on the annual fee. You know, even at a Chase Preferred, you have to do the math of, are you spending enough on the card to beat 2% cash back? Are you getting high enough rewards out of that card to justify that annual fee? And I always encourage people to sit there and use that 2% cash back as a basis, and then go through your annual statements. Actually look at the spending summary, see where you're spending the money, look at the bonus categories, and be like, hey, does this actually make sense or not?
Thank you. That makes all the sense. Thank you, Vincent, for the question. And then last, Jesse, YouTube experiment. Does banks rewards programs acknowledge the annual fee fatigue? Are they thinking about that when they keep raising the fee and adding more credit?
Do they think about it? Is it part of a deliberate strategy to move you to a mid-tier card? I mean, let's just talk about United for a second. They have 4 cards right now, 0, just on the consumer side. The no annual fee, then the Explorer card with 95, 99, whatever it is. The Quest card at $350, and the Club card at $550 or
$695 now.
$695 now. Thank you, Joe. So is the idea of moving the Club card to $695 to maybe push more people to the Quest card and say, sure, I'll spend $350? They are very well aware about the fatigue, but I think they are coming up with bigger and bigger portfolios in segmentation. I look at it the same way I look at airplanes. You've got business class. Business class is so much better than it was a decade ago. It's the new first class. Then you've got premium economy. Premium economy on an international plane is basically a domestic first class seat with a footrest. Then you've got extra leg room, which is a coach seat like that. Then you got the back of the plane, regular coach seats. And then you got basic economy, which is a regular coach seat, but you can't change anything. You can't get a seat assignment. You can't bring a carry-on bag. You can't do this. You can't do that. You are, all the way at the bottom. If you think about credit cards, they're really looking the same way. And those secured credit cards for people with low credit histories really are almost like the basic economy of flying. And that United Club card is now like the business class. So they know the fatigue is out there, but they're trying to offer more and more products out there. And some people will pay the fee and others will move to different products.
And with that, thanks, Scott, for doing this. Super cool. I finally realized Joe is WEPA man. That's my new. Actually, guys, I have to tell you, the trademark came in the mail today. My WEPA card and WEPA man were trademarked, so I'm happy. Thank you, guys. Scott, for fun, what would I like to happen most important? What would you like to see happen most important points in miles?
I want to see like surprise and delight. I want to see fun again. I want to see, awesome things happen. We're way too much into a currency. We're way too much into the coupon booking. Um, I have spreadsheets now to track all my monthly perks. I want to see fun out there. I want to just see, hey, congratulations, you used your card at Domino's Pizza today. Did you know that Domino's was our surprise bonus partner? You get 5,000 miles today. I want to see crazy stuff like that.
So is that why like that JetBlue promo you like?
I like that. And I don't just say that because I do.
No, it makes sense.
I like it because it's fun and it engages you. And yeah, I got to jump through a few hoops to do it. But it's saying travel's more than just spending money. It's about this loyalty with these different brands. And I go back to, there are irrational things that you do. If you're spending your way to United status, the club card gets you there faster than the Quest card. So you spend more money on the annual fee to get a card that gets you there faster. That's one thing, but you know what? I would track down 5 Mr. Softy trucks while riding a city bike around Midtown Manhattan if it meant that I could get 10,000 bonus points for doing that. I mean, let's have a little fun. Let's, if you go to my Instagram at GlobeTrotScott.com, you'll see a reel of me riding a suitcase. It's a motorized suitcase around like a convention hall. Like, it was just a fun, silly thing. I think there needs to be more fun in travel. Going back to that pillow to pillow philosophy, like no one wants to arrive at the end of the travel day just going like, oh, that was miserable. But there can be at the back of the plane even a good experience when picking up a rental car. And I think the loyalty programs and credit cards that are going to succeed are going to have more fun. That's actually why I like what City Strata is doing with the Friday night out. It doesn't cost them that much. It gets you to use that credit card when dining out and think about it. And yeah, it's probably not the most lucrative thing in the world, and I bashed it about an hour ago, but at the same point, it's fun, and it's thinking about things differently.
I thank you for that, because that's what we keep going back and forth here when people's opinions, and I get it. But you're right about the fun and the way that the loyalty programs work. My sister just flew United to London last Wednesday, came back yesterday, did premium economy, the purple seats going.
Yep.
Coming back, her and my brother-in-law, my favorite brother-in-law, were moved up to business in their lie flat.
Polaris.
And she was ecstatic, sending me pictures left and right from Polaris. And she goes, I don't know how I got this. I said, well, they probably either oversold the plane, you had paid for a premium economy, which is a higher tiered ticket, and they decided to move you up and bump other people up accordingly. But it's things like that. So it makes all the sense in the world. Jonathan says, thank you for the Venture X nod. The Capital One Duo has been great and continues to be the workhorse for me. New Again says, facts, Scott. I remember when Amex used to send stuff in the mail, like Broadway tickets.
Yeah.
Gunnar, this stream was WEPA to WEPA fun. Great job, brother. Scott, do you have anything you would like to tell everybody so that we can say good night?
Yeah, just have fun, look for the deals. Don't stress out about getting 44 cents redemption per point. Boy, that's a great one still. I'm jealous. But really, think about what you want to do and what your points and miles enable you to do. They're a vehicle. They're not the end goal. As much as we all like to brag and have our platinum globalist, awesome titanium elite status or whatever it is, this is a vehicle to live better, travel better, and see the world. And don't lose track of that.
Thank you. That's very well put, which right on cue. Call me Lonnie. Lonnie lives in California, and Lonnie is my United Airlines savant. He is a Premier 1K, has been there, and he is all United. Uses their app Mileage Plus X to buy stuff and then get miles for it. So Lonnie, there you go, Lonnie. He's wonderful. He's also a content creator. Fantastic. Anthony, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Anthony Fears. Thank you, Joe and Scott, for a fantastic show. YouTube, Jesse says, Wepa. Awesome stuff, Scott. Common sense. Just take the trip already. Quit complaining and have fun. And I want to thank the people here tonight. John, thank you for the memberships, Papi. As always, thank you for being a member for 6 months, for 16 months. Rex, thank you for the memberships. I appreciate you. So many members, so little Wepa. I get it. Juan, thank you for the memberships as well, Papi. I appreciate that. Vincent, thank you for the super chat. DJ Bruce Wayne, thank you for the super sticker. The Dollar Man, thank you for the super chat. John, thank you once again for the super chat. Manny, I love you, Papi. Thank you for the super chat. Texas Dog, thank you for the memberships. James Ragland, thank you for the super chat. Ian, thank you for the super chat. What am I going to tell you, Scott, other than this is, and I knew they were going to do this. They promised they wouldn't. So every week I end with a wepa, and whoever was the guest is supposed to do a wepa. I said I didn't think you were going to do a wepa, but if you feel inclined, you can do a wepa. I can do the wepa first, and you can see how it's done, or you can pass. You have a choice.
Oh, I'm not going to pass, but I want to see you start it off.
Okay. Guys,
I don't pass anything.
Oh my God, you're hearing this. Are you ready? Ready to rate it? And they rate you. They're brutal here. They're brutal to me. I'm going to do a shorter one, guys, so that he could get the gist of it. Ready? As I drink my Bacardi here. Hold on.
Let me get ready.
Yep. For the first time ever, mi gente, we're going to do this. All right? Scott, this is for you. Steve Askenazi, I love you. This is for you. 30-something years later, Steve. All for you. 1, 2, 3.
All right, I don't think I can put that much energy into it. But first of all, Joe, this is for you.
Oh, my God.
This is also for Steve. But more importantly, I want to give this out to all of the people who actually tuned in today to hear me just rant about points and miles and whatever I said. All right.
Yo, that was savage. Oh my God. Woo! Yo, that had to be, I'm not even gonna lie. My girl Nadine from earlier, she killed it. She brought out the Puerto Rican flag to do her wepa, right? But she's Puerto Rican, so I get it. Yo, look at this. You actually got that was awesome. They never do that. You got a 10. Scott, no, I'm not telling you. Great job on the wepa. 10. No devaluation. 10. George, thank you, George. Thank you, Sean. 10. Scott is a natural, but I knew it. Somebody's going to nerf you. 9.5.
Oh, 9.5.
But Jesse, he answered your questions. John, 10 for 10. Look at this. The new king. Damn. My favorite brother-in-law is here, Carlos Alberto. Sweet ass job. Love it. Yo, he's a New Yorker. 8 out of 10. Yo, iron my clothes. Thank you so much. Awesome. A 10. A 10. That was better than Sledge. Antoine, that's funny. It was, though. Oh, my God. Winner, chicken dinner. Woo-hoo. 10 out of 10 for both players. Oh, my God. 3.5. He's also here at the end. Damn, Gio, that's rough. Gio,
I'll strive to do better.
That was the Russian judge. 8.5 QC Man 2000. Thank you so much. 9.5 is a terrific score. He woke up Australia. 8 out of 10, CJ. Oh my God. We need to see Wepa Model play next, Joe. That's the next one. Scott, I thank you. Mi gente, I thank you. As always, I thank you for being here. You could be anywhere else. You chose to be here. But more than anything else, on behalf of Scott and myself, we thank you for giving us the privilege of your time. Until next time, mi gente, I will see you next week. Scott, my love to the family. God bless you. I love you, Scott. Thank you so much for everything. Honestly, that was a fabulous show. Look at that.
This was so
Thank you,
much fun.
guys. I
This
love
was
you. Scott,
great.
don't go nowhere. I love you.